Barrister Rotimi Edu, the President, Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers, is joining me right here to speak about insurance penetration in Nigeria. Welcome to you, Mr. President.
Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm all right, very well.
Okay, fantastic. What a day to talk about insurance because, you know, largely speaking, majority of Nigerians, there's no insurance consciousness, as it were. Your cousins, I normally call them your cousins, the banks. You know, it's like, even though in Nigeria we have about 59% unbanked, but majority of Nigerians are, at least some Nigerians are banked. Majority, or if not, almost all of us do not have insurance. Can you just tell, you know, just give me a brief overview of how we got here, really? That insurance penetration in Nigeria is low?
Well, thank you. I think that started years back when insurance first surfaced very well in Nigeria. That was around 1961.
Yeah.
And what actually happened was that it was in the hands of few, and they saw it as their personal businesses, and that really affected the issue of claims payments because they were able to collect premiums, and then claims were not really attended to. And then, at that time, the regulation was also very weak. There was no regulation, so it's like a free market for everybody that goes into insurance and sees insurance as a means of amassing wealth. But sooner than later, good regulations started coming in, and up until 2003, when the laws was rolled out, insurance now started having a good face within the country. But before then, a lot of damages has been done. And the correction is quite enormous if we want to really face the fact. It starts from the fact that there has been quite a lot of confidence erosion. People lost confidence totally in insurance. They don't believe that insurance can ever pay. Even government itself was not insuring until, you know, much more recently. And then in an attempt to rebrand and re-engineer the whole system, the regulators started rolling out some key and fundamental rules and regulations that has helped insurance to the stage at which it is now. But by and large, what really needs to be done is, you know, a lot of deepening, a lot of penetration, a lot of awareness creation that insurance has changed. The thrust of my office is broker centricism. And why I chose that is that the broker plays a very pivotal and important role in the insurance value chain. And for a broker who stands as a professional within the industry, it behoves on us to ensure that we also are able to, you know, sell insurance very well. In this country, insurance is sold and not bought.
Insurance is sold?
Yes.
And not bought. What do you mean by that?
Yes. People should have come to buy insurance voluntarily. But it's sometimes a hard sale because it's also intangible. People. Exactly. And, you know, that is not too healthy for the growth that we are expecting within the industry. But like I said, there are still a lot of changes, I mean, a lot of corrections that can be made. We need to deepen insurance. That's the first thing, and create awareness. Create awareness by educating people, create awareness by making sure that we take insurance to their doorsteps, and we will create that awareness from the outcome of claim settlement. Once claims are settled promptly, and let me mark it, genuine claims, because as we have it, you know, on the side of the insurers, so also do we have the buyers, you know, playing a lot of tricks in insurance. So once we are able to ensure that insurance is bought, then we will be inching upward and we won't be the poor cousins of bankers.
I like that. You won't be the poor cousins of bankers, because in developed world, you see that even the insurance sector is huge.
It's
sometimes
very
even
huge.
bigger than.
Yes, you are very correct.
Banking
In actual fact, funds that are available in the insurance sector are locked up with the banks. But this is because our investment opportunities under insurance is not as wide as that of the bankers. The investment outlay in insurance is restricted, even far more than the bank. We can only go into government instruments, you know, maybe some real estate thing. We can't do all those things that banks are doing. Even our lending cannot be done directly. You know, we have to use a third-tier institution to do all those things. So we need a flexible regulation that will give us the ease of doing business and making more profit and expanding the industry.
So you've talked quite a lot about penetration, deepening, awareness, government's role in terms of also in promoting insurance. I also do know that the insurance sector is also having like a bit of small issues with government in terms of even compelling the IMDAs, for example, to insure all government assets. How far have you gone with that? Because even some government buildings and properties are not even insured.
Well, you are very correct in that aspect. Governments made laws, but sometimes it's difficult, again, for governments to adhere strictly to these laws. Sometimes there are budget constraints for them, and sometimes there's still a little bit of the advantage that insurance brings to them that is not known to government. But thank God, they have, you know, chosen to do one, which is the group life, which secures the lives of the staff of all the MDAs. And in that, I think there has been tremendous, you know, awareness and increase in government participation in insurance. Most state government, not all of them, but I can talk about Lagos, talk about Ekiti. Katsina and Kaduna has just been opened up by the Commissioner for Insurance. You know, some of them don't even respect the law that they make. And if you look at the political structure of this country, if you are not from my party, if you make a law, I'm not bound to, you know, sometimes the states don't want to respect the laws of the federal. Sometimes it takes them a long time to domesticate simple laws that will be of advantage and benefits to their people. So all these are the challenges that we face in the government circle. But coming to the assets of government, honestly, that is a little bit disappointing. That up till now, we've not been able to say, yes, we are giving government cover in terms of their assets. And this is a great economic loss to us, because for every loss that occurs within government, for every disaster, for every situation that insurance would have taken care of, there is no insurance to do that. And so government has to go back, either to do extra budgetary allocation to be able to sustain, or not even touch that place at all again. I remember that in, okay, let me take Lagos for example. Lagos does their assets, and they've been doing that for quite a while. And when there is a disaster or there is any insurance need for all these assets, they are well covered. Look at the bridge that got burnt. It's under repairs now because there was insurance. Government of Lagos State insures all their infrastructure. Bridges, most especially, all those bridges in Lagos are insured. The new rail that is being done is also under insurance. So, but for the federal, I tend to look at sometimes the ability to do things is clogged by protocol, unnecessary, you know, slow down of decision makers. They sometimes don't see any need for it, and insurance sometimes doesn't come as a priority. Government tried, they even, said there are some compulsory insurances that the people must do, but the enforcement is also becoming very challenging because sometimes religion does not allow, or sometimes beliefs, traditional beliefs does not allow.
Divine insurance.
Divine.
God is my
God,
insurance.
exactly. So we need to, you know, reappraise ourselves as insurance practitioners to be able to, you know, face all these challenges. And one of the things that we must do is the issue of getting data, more data, so that we can know who to talk to, where and when to talk to people. If we don't have enough data, it becomes difficult. And this can only be also gathered by our continuous engagement with the business community, with the private community, so that at the end of the day, we can take insurance from the low ebb of contributing just about 3-point-something% to the GDP and raise that bar very high.
Okay. So you talked about disasters, and you just brought me to the other aspect, which is we've seen what's happening now in Kogi State, flood. In Lokoja, for example, the flood disaster that happens almost every year. I know that I and my colleagues were caught up in 2012 in this same flood issue that happened. You know, we were like on. It's such a sad experience to remember. Secondly, we also saw fire a few days ago at Balogun markets. Yes. You know, what are brokers like you, your association, for example, doing to deepen awareness? In Balogun market, for example, it's like the fire is almost every year. I know you said a bit about like hanky-panky by players and all of that. What can you do to be able to increase insurance awareness? Take a look at what's happening in Kogi now. Close to over 70,000 houses matched in water. What will happen to those people? Have you like interacted also with government?
Okay, thank you. You see, in deepening insurance and creating awareness, the NCRIB has done quite a lot in the last couple of years. Apart from the fact that we've done quite a lot of road shows, road work to educate people. I know the Abuja chapter here have gone to various motor parks to enlighten motorists about insurance. Also in Lagos, we've done road shows on the Third Mainland Bridge. We've even tried to use the area of sports for creating awareness. You know, sports is something that everybody goes for. Although we don't have that money to raise a football team now, that, you know, could be bringing people out or even indoors to watch their telly when the match is on. But we have started with lawn tennis. Lawn tennis is also a sport that is also that people have keen interest in.
Is it not an elite sport?
It is not. Lawn tennis is
because if you're talking of lawn tennis, how many, you know, perhaps in Nigeria people say, oh, football. A lot of people watch soccer.
Yes, they watch soccer. We are still looking for a way to go into soccer, but like I said earlier, we cannot raise a team now.
Well, you can support.
Well, we can support, we can do things which we have been doing, exactly. And then aside from that, we've also tried to do what I say is catch them young. Insurance now has been introduced into the curriculum of the West African Examination Council, so that at a very young age in their teens, they will already have learnt about insurance, such that in the nearest future, the population of those who know and believe in insurance will be higher than what we have now. It's not only that, we have other programs that we have been doing to enlighten the public through our public seminars and some, you know.
Yeah, but the question is, with all these things that you've been doing, how do you measure the success? Because how you also measure the success of what you're putting together, what you have done, is that the penetration should be increasing. But let me give you some stats, and I hope we have them, some statistics of your industry.
Yes.
Low insurance penetration, of course, insurance penetration is 0.5%. According to the NIA, Nigerian Insurance Association, as at January 2022, about 3.4 million cars are insured in Nigeria out of over 12 million cars. Nigeria's insurance industry ranks 62nd globally. That's according to the Nigerian Stock Exchange 2019 report. What else again? The insurance sector recorded 6.2% growth in March. That's according to your
The
regulator.
second quarter.
Yes. So if you take a look at all those things, you know, it
Yes.
should be more than
It should be more.
what I'm reading out now.
Let me start, for instance, with the earlier one you mentioned about markets. The insurance of markets, honestly, for me, is something that we have tried a lot. We have distributed handbills to almost all the markets. We have tried to structure them to have insurance so that it's not when a market gets burnt that people will be wailing and gnashing their teeth. It's not at that time that government will not be using money that they should have used on the other ventures to support them. We have done all that we can, but their structure is a little bit
Informal?
Very, very informal. And then the geologist has the last say. In some instances, we have met with various geologists all over the country to please let us accept insurance as a form of, protection. They have not been able to, permit that. Even in the area of health insurance, that will also be of value to them. Only few market groups are involved in health insurance. And then if you now look at the issue of the flood, for instance, you find out that if there had been insurances on all these buildings and properties, flood is covered. It's an extension in the standard fire policy that once you have a fire policy and you extend it to cover flood, civil commotion, like what happened during NSAS, all this will be a thing of the past. Insurance would have taken care of them. And people know, but they just don't rank insurance as number one priority in their financial expenditure.
Don't you also think that part of it could be a bit of demarketing from some of your players, in the sense that there's no prompt settlement of claims? They also, have issues with their clients. By the time you pay, okay, your car got burnt or something happened, before they pay you, and that is
no,
what people will also say in the
issue
media.
Of prompt settlement of claim, honestly, it has, from the insurance end, it has improved. Because if you don't settle promptly, National Insurance Commission, within 24 hours, can, come heavily on you with fines or withdrawal of your license. But you see, most claims, sometimes, I won't say that they are unsettleable. People don't read their policies well. And because they don't read their policies, they don't know what exclusions they have.
The onus should also be on the practitioners such as
yes,
you, to make your clients also understand.
That's why.
Or give them in ways they will understand.
That is why we are advising that.
Because it's also technical.
Yes, it's technical, and that's why we always advise that you should consult your registered insurance brokers. Because the broker stands in the middle as the professional.
What if they don't have money? Because
they are not supposed, they are not even paying the broker. It's a free service for them. The remuneration of the broker comes from the premium that is paid to the underwriters, and the underwriters know that.
Okay.
So that's just a bit of it. If you look at the other end again, some claims come purposely fraudulent.
Okay, let's talk about microinsurance and the adoption of technology.
Yes.
If you see what's happening in the banking sector now, we're seeing a lot of fintechs, financial technology. Central Bank, for example, has licensed PSBs, payment service banks, and all of that. How can the insurance sector be, or how can the adoption of technology be more encouraged? That we have more insurtechs,
exactly,
so to speak, and more microinsurance that even this geologer could tell her market, and just say, okay, 1,000 or 500.
In fact, that's one of the pivots and piloting that the National Insurance Commission is doing now. I'm aware that a lot of technology companies are being registered by National Insurance Commission now, and they've issued some standards for us as practitioners to follow. Almost all the insurance industry is awake with InsurTech. People are now, you can see them visibly on the social media, you can see insurance products and, their companies on various platforms of, the industry. And not that alone. With InsurTech, we'll be able to expand, like you said, go to even rural areas, because the cost of setting up an insurance entity is not small. And in a community, sometimes you may not get the required income to even flow the payment of staff salaries. So, but with InsurTech, like you rightly said, it will be, seamless and cheaper and faster. And this we're already looking at. And that's why even this year, our theme, insurance practice in Nigeria as a means of security, is very, very germane to us. And we'll get there. So
talking about awareness very quickly, because we have like 3 minutes or so to end this show. Awareness, I know that you had something to do last week or so.
Yes.
Was it a few days ago? Tony Olumelu was there,
yes,
and he called a banking guru, for example, calling the insurance sector that you need to collaborate and you need to dip in. You also need, you mentioned technology. Technology.
Yes.
So what else can we see in terms of awareness? That's one. Then number two, the players in the sector, how can they be trusted? Because I think, was it in June or so that NICOM wielded the axe on some of the insurance companies, I think Nigerian Insurance Standard Alliance, and I don't know if there are a couple more coming. How can we have trust in these?
You see, like I said, and I'll continue to insist on that now there is a lot of trust in insurance, so to say, for those who
Are you seeing it from your lens?
Yes, not from my lens alone, from what is even coming on our tables, because business is improving, is increasing by the day, and then because of the nature of claims that are emanating here and there now, a lot of people have now believed that it's only through insurance that they can get the succor they are looking for. And what we are saying about this is that most insurance companies are now well regulated. Even self-regulation within the industry is also very prevalent. The NIA is doing its best to ensure that its members live up to expectation. The NCRIB too is also doing its best. The supervisors, I mean the National Insurance Commission too, the regulator, they're also doing their best to ensure that this industry image is not tarnished. And then the resultant effect of that is that what we just now need to do is to deepen, to make sure that we enlighten people that when you have a claim, if your claim is not paid within time, if it's not paid promptly, you have some, respite from the National Insurance Commission. Immediately you report. I think within 24 hours, they are on that matter. Within 72 hours, that matter will be solved.
Okay, now, 30 seconds if you can. I know that the VIO, the Vehicle Inspection, what do they call them? Vehicle Inspection Office. VIO has, tried to displace insurance in terms of motor insurance. What is your association doing about that? Because you go now, it's like every VIO person is now an insurance broker. VIO, I'm calling you out today, so.
Well, you see, it's an inroad that the people are being taken for a ride. Because normally they shouldn't buy insurance from the roadside. Insurance is something that has a period of beginning and of expiry. And there are insurance companies, there are also platforms at which they can all buy. The NID platform also will immediately tell you if you have a genuine insurance or not. Because some people, because they pay cheaper, they just go to the roadside or consult BIO who collect 2,000 naira from them for a certificate of 5,000. And when they do that, the resultant effect is that if there is a claim, there won't be anybody to hold, because they even sell the certificates of some companies that have gone moribund.
Okay. I think we'll continue this discussion on another day.
I need to.
So perhaps you will come back soon. So let's continue.
At your pleasure, anytime.
All right. Thank you very much. I've been speaking with Barrister Rotimi Edu, who is the President, Nigerian Council of Registered Insurers Brokers. We've been talking about the deepening and penetration of insurance in Nigeria. I hope you've learned one or two things. The cocoa of it is that go get insured. Life, motor, and disaster through your brokers. Don't do through the back door. All right, that's the much we can take on today's edition of the program. Thank you all for your company. Please join us again tomorrow. Same time, I will be here with another guest, another topic. Be the best you can be and be that change that you want to see. I am Nancy Naji. Bye now.